U.U.U. What's up, guys? I'm here to answer the age-old question: date or no date? Let's get it. All right, guys. So I'm gonna mention 5 differences between the date and the no date. You guys are like, 5 differences? How you gonna find 5 differences between the date? Guys, there's 5 differences between the date and the no date. It's not the same watch. It's not the same case. It's not built the same. It's not simply the same case with the different face and movement put into it. No, the no date is actually a 0.5 millimeter thinner case. Yeah. The no date bezel sits a little further to the left. And let me show you what I mean. So on the bezel here, you see this lip, this little hangover, the bezel that hangs over the case? Well, on the no date, it leans a little further 9 o'clock than on this case. So the bezel placement and how it lands evenly on the case and how it feels when you grip it. On the no date, there's a lot more meat on this left side, so the bezel feels a bit leaned over to the left when you go to grip it. This one feels nice and right and evenly placed on the case when I go to grip it with my fingers. If I'm taking a bezel and I'm sitting it in the middle of the case and I'm using the finger feel, this feels better placed on the case than the no date. Also, another thing, the crystal here, you see this crystal, how it sits flat to the bezel? On the no date, there's more of a bump. There's more like of a doming between the crystal and the case. It's not as flush and flat fitting. And guys, I've tested this. I've owned both, so I can tell you that the crystal fits flatter on the date version. The date version is 0.5 millimeter thicker. The way this bezel sits on the case is more even. And then finally, this little Lume Pip here. You see the teeth on this Lume Pip right here at the top? My Lume Pip sits right in the middle of some teeth. Right at the bottom of the teeth here. You see that? My Lume Pip sits right in the middle of those teeth. So you want to get a Lume Pip that sits either right in the middle of the bottom of the teeth or the top of the teeth. That's where you want your Lume Pip to land. Because when you go to turning that bezel, and as soon as you land it in that little bit back play that you and you line it right on up, everything visually to your eyes is proportioned with the top of the teeth, triangle, Lume Pip, bottom, and everything just visually lines up absolute zero. On the no date versions, this little Lume Pip may just be a bit off to the left of the teeth, a little bit right of the teeth, so it feels like it's not an absolute perfect alignment visually with your eyes. If your eyes is trying to line everything up, it just feels a bit misaligned. And it might not be the case, but because the way that Lume Pip is sitting with the teeth, it might feel like it's misaligned, and it's gonna bug you. It's gonna bug you. So this date version seems to pay attention to that detail. It's just a little bit more of a higher quality, no QC issues with this date version. Finally, go with the date version because it just feels like their flagship. It feels like the one that they spend the most of their time and attention on. They make more of them. You won't find a no date green bezel. You won't find a no date bluesy. You won't find a no date white gold. You won't find a no date, two-tone or whatever. They focus all of their variations on the date version. So that tells me that's their most important version of the watch that they spend the most amount of their time, attention to detail on. And then the no date just kind of feels like a smaller quantity is made, and they're not really that, it feels like a one-off almost. So I definitely say if you had the choice between the date and the no date, pay attention to all the little things that I mentioned and check for those. How does the Lume Pip line up? How does the bezel line up? I definitely 1000% say just go for the date version. That seems to be the more perfect, more attention to detail, flagship version that they make of this watch. Just my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Till next time. Ow!